Okay, guys. So in the last class again we discussed about checkpoint. We understood how to do some application filtering, and also we understood how to do HTTPS inspection, those things and all. Okay. So at last we discussed about standalone architecture, right? If you don't want to have a setup like a separate SMS and separate gateway, you can have SMS and gateway to be together in a single product, so which we call it as a standalone architecture. Okay. So now let's start this. So we go to MVFE checkpoint, and we covered the first one, the second one, right? So we have to cover the third one. So again, we can understand how do we do with multiple gateways. Okay, so first, see, this is a new topology. It doesn't have any configuration, so we have to do everything from the scratch. So I'm going to do the first time wizard on this Chennai gateway, like how you generally do, and we're going to do the CLI first time wizard on this Hyderabad gateway. Okay. Okay, let me start the devices first, guys. So we can start this, 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 and this. First, we'll set up this guy. First, we'll do the first time wizard for SMS and Chennai gateway, and after that, we'll go and do the Hyderabad gateway. So this time, what we're going to do is from this single security management server, we're going to control Chennai gateway as well as Hyderabad gateway. So these are the two locations that we have our sites on. Okay. So yes, let's go and take this Windows mission. Okay. So we'll give the IP address to him. We'll have IP address 1.3. And then see these devices, they have 1.1 already, right? We just want to do the first time wizard over there. And after that, we can basically configure certain rules like, inside, outside, those things and all. And after we can go and configure this Hyderabad gateway. So we're gonna contact this Chennai SMS and push policy to the Hyderabad gateway, right? And if you see, there is no security management server on this side. So usually when you have multiple sites, you will have your SMS in one site, and from that one SMS, you will control all the branch office checkpoint firewall. So we're gonna learn how to do that. Okay. So let me go and assign the IP address to this Windows device, so which is inside the Chennai office. So this type. Okay, so this device, we're gonna configure IP address 1.3. Okay. So we'll give the IP now. 192.168.1.3, 192.168.1.1, 8.8.8.8. Okay. Now after, let's go and take Internet Explorer, because that is a browser that supports checkpoint. If you try it on Google Chrome, it won't work that well. So I'm gonna try it on I'm gonna try it on Internet Explorer. HTTPS 192.168.1.1. So we have to do the first time wizard, guys. Everything is new. There is no configuration at all. So HTTPS 10.1. Sorry, it should be 192.168.1.2. Okay, continue. Username password is admin123. That's the default username password. Okay, let's go and give to the second. This is the SMS device. So we're gonna make one guy admin 123. Okay, let's go and do the first time wizard for 1.1. Right now on the 1.1, which is the gateway, right? So let's give next, 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 So here I'm going to say it is Chennai gateway, and then the DNS is 8.8.8.8. Next. And see, the time zone is not showing up. Let's give next here. So it's going to freeze, but you can refresh and get it again. Wait, so let's refresh. Do the first time wizard one more time, because sometimes it happens. Okay, next. Okay, so the time is Kolkata Asia GMT 5:30. Okay, so here we're gonna have this case security gateway. So we'll just give next. Okay, activation key, we're gonna have it as root 123. This is for the activation, right? So in order to add the device, we have to use this. Okay, so finish. Okay, we'll go to this first. We'll go to the first time is that for the SMS. Okay, so here we'll give the first time is that for the SMS. This is going to be Chennai SMS 8.8.8.8. So here this is going to be security management. Next. Okay, so this process will take at least few seconds of time. So what we have done so far is we just configured IP address to this PC, and we took first time wizard for both the devices. We made this case a security gateway, and we made this case in security SMS, and now we are actually rebooting. So after the product is installed, we'll wait for some time so that this Windows machine can contact the SMS. Meanwhile, also we should also configure the basic IP addresses, right? So we'll contact the SMS, and before that we'll go and contact the gateway through the HTTP protocol and configure the other interface IP addresses. For example, 2.1, 200.16. These IPs will configure along with default gateway. Okay, so yes, let's wait for this gateway to be ready after the reboot. Okay, I think the gateway is rebooting now. So after the gateway reboot, yeah, so we get the login page. Let's log in as admin 123. Okay, I think admin 123. Okay, so first interfaces. So we have the DMZ and then the outside interface not configured. Let's go and click on that and configure. Edit. Enable the interface. 192.168.2.1 subnet mask 255.255.255.0. So we'll configure the other interface. 200.1.1.16 subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Okay, so we'll configure the default route. Okay, click edit and add gateway IP address. The IP is going to be 200.1.1.1, which means I'm just doing this. So this is the interface IP configured just now, and we're gonna point it to 200.1.1, which is the default gateway or the default route. Okay, so good. So we have basic IP address assignment and internet access for this gateway, and we have to just wait for this SMS to uh, boot and be ready, and then we can take the smart console application, right? Smart console application, and we can contact the gateway, and then sorry, we can contact the SMS. From the SMS, we'll add the gateway, and we can create few policies to allow the traffic between the zones. Okay, so after that, from this device, we're gonna contact this Hyderabad gateway, and we're gonna add Hyderabad gateway into an SMS, and we're gonna configure the Hyderabad gateway also similarly. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait for this SMS to be ready. I think is it ready? Okay, still it's going on, so still the products are not installed. After the product installation, it'll take some 5 minutes of time for the smart console to be connected. So I think I'm gonna stop the recording here. So once the first time wizard is over, I'm gonna take this smart console application. Okay. I'll be connecting to 1.2 SMS, and once the connection is done, I'll resume the recording. Okay, I think instead of waiting for this SMS to finish the product installation, what I can do is I would like to configure this Hyderabad gateway now. So basically, anyway, we're going to configure him. The first time wizard, I'm going to do the CLI first time wizard. See here, what we did the first time wizard with the web interface, right? So with the web interface, we did the first time wizard for the SMS access to the gateway. But here we have Hyderabad gateway. See, if you have a Windows machine here, and with from the Windows machine's browser, you can do the first time wizard here also. So first time wizard can be done through web interfaces, or you can also do it through command line also. So command interface of web is, first time wizard is also possible. So first, let's go and assign the IP address. I'm going to go and I'm going to do it completely CLI, which means CLI in the sense the initial setup will be done by CLI. So the interface IP addresses, and then the first time wizard, everything we'll do it first time CLI. And then after that, we can take this SMS and we can connect to this particular Hyderabad gateway. And from there, we can push policy to the Hyderabad gateway. Okay, so first let's go and configure the Hyderabad gateway. So we have the other firewall here. Okay, so let's go and assign IP address. So I'm going to give IP address command line. So if you wanted to know how to assign IP address command line, you can have a look now. See, I don't have any Windows machine to connect to the web interface. So both machines are CLI devices. So we cannot configure the web interface from them. So I'm just trying to do it with the command line itself. Okay, so the checkpoint device is booting. Okay, let's log in as admin. The password is admin123. Okay, so here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and assign IP addresses first. Okay, so here we see if you give show and then if you give question mark, there are so many show options that you have. Like similar like how you have in Cisco, you can also use you can use question mark, or you can use tab. You can use tab to list the commands. So I'm just gonna give show interfaces, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna give enter or show interfaces ETH0. So now if you see this ETH0, I think where is that? Okay, there you go, show ETH0. And you have right now the interface has got an IP address 1.1. But the actual IP address that we have to configure for this interface is what? We have ETH0 here. So it should be 3.1, and this should be 4.1, and this should be 100 or 116. So right now this guy has got an IP address 1.1 because generally the checkpoint image will have E0 image as 1.1. And that's a basic IP address, that is what we have here. We want to change it to 3.1 because according to this site, we don't have 1.1, this should be 3.1. Let's go and assign IP address to that interface. So I'm going to say set, and then if you go, just checking for the command, because I forgot the command what should be used here. Show set, I think set, it should be set interface, and if you give ETH0, And now it's asking for IPv4 address. And then you can give the IP address that you want, which is 192.168.3.1. And then the subnet mask 255.255.2.0. Right? So this is a command. I gave this command to set IP address 3.1 to that interface. And also I'm going to use ETH. I think what happened. So let me type again, set interface ETH1, and this time ETH1 is going to have the IPv4 address 192.168.4.1, subnet mask 255.255.2.0, and then we can give set interface ETH2 IPv4 address. So this time it's going to be the public IP, guys. So if you see the other side interface, so we gave 3.1 with the command, we gave 4.1 with the command, and this is going to be the public IP 100.0.16. So 100.0.16, and then subnet mask will be 255.258. Sorry, yeah, I think yeah. So we configured all the interfaces. For the interfaces, I think we have to manually enable them. Let's go and see the interface. Show interface ETH0. I think the link is up only. So the link is up. So ETH0 has got what IP address? It has got 3.0 IP address. The link state is up. Okay, let's give the command ETH1 and we'll see the status of him. Okay, so ETH1, the link state is down here. So we have to go and enable that. So let's go and enable the interface because or else it won't work. Set interface. And what is the command? ETH0. And then if you give, there is a state command, state on. So meanwhile, I'll also do it for 1, also do it for 2. So I'll give you the commands. It's not that difficult. So the commands are very simple. So if you take so there's a command. So here you have to just do it with the ETH0 and then the IP address. So 192.168.3.2 or 3.1. And then here to enable the interface, set interface ETH0 state on. So these are the two commands. So you have to do it for ETH0 and then for ETH1 also and ETH2. So according to the IP address have to be configured. Okay. So we gave the basic IP addresses, guys. So the interface IP address has been configured. And we'll do the first time is that before that, I just want to check if this Hyderabad gateway can reach internet because we have to configure default route, right? So again, since we don't have the web interface access, we have to do the default route through the command interface only. So the command to do the static or default routing is set route, I believe. Okay, no, it's not. We set, don't remember the command. So let's go and see that. Set the route. A long time back I did this. I didn't remember this. Set, I think, yeah, set static route. So there you go. Set static route. So the command is set static route. And then you give the default. And then you give next hop. And then you give the gateway. And then you give the address. And then you give the 100.1.1 on. Okay, this is a command. So this is the actual static routing command. So instead of doing the web interface, you can say set static route default and then default static route. And then the next hop is nothing but the gateway. And the address of that is 100.1 and it is set to on. So we are enabling the route. So now we should be able to, from here, we should be able to reach the internet. So from this device, simply what I did is I just did this configuration for the interfaces. And I gave this command to set the static route, right? So that's it. And now we should be able to reach internet. So let me take ping 8.8.8.8. So if the ISP routers are on, you can see the ISP routers are on here. ISP is on, so we should be able to reach internet. Let's check that. Okay, there you go. So internet is reachable. That's good. So now we have internet access for this guy. Now we'll do the first time wizard. See, what are the things I was doing on this gateway through command interface, through web interface, everything I'm doing in the command interface. So I send IP to both all the three interfaces. I need a default route. Now I'm going to the first time wizard. See, now to the first time wizard, there is a script that is given by the checkpoint itself. Here, if you see this, right, you can just click on this. Can you see that particular red color highlighted one? I'm going to give Control A, Control C, and I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to take that in the notepad. I'm just going to paste it. So here, what is the host name that you see? This is what exactly you do in the first time wizard phase. In the first time wizard, you configure the gateway and you configure the activation key. You say it's not a security management server. You say it's a security gateway, and dynamic IP false, right? You have everything, right? You have everything that you generally configure in a, even including if you see the primary DNS server is 8.8.8.8 and the time zone is Asia Kolkata. So something that you configure in the web interface by giving next. Now you have the script of it, and I've clearly noted, clearly mentioned what have to be done on the second particular gateway. Okay, so instead of doing the first time wizard through the web interface, we're going to do the first time wizard through the command interface itself. I'm going to copy this, Control A, Control C, and we're going to go and create a. See, for this we have to go to the expert mode page. So we have to go to the expert mode. Expert, and it says expert password has not been set. So let's set the expert password. So expert mode is nothing but the next mode, right? So expert password, and the password will be, let's set just admin123 itself, admin123. Okay, let's go for expert mode now. Admin123. Okay, so now we're gonna go and create a file. So first we're gonna create a file called cp.conf. See, the file name is your wish. You can use any file name that you want. I'm gonna go with cp.conf. And then here, so I'm going to create a file with a command called vi. Vi is basically an editor. So vi cp.conf. So we're going to create a file and we're going to open that in the editor, command editor. I'm going to give enter. And now we are in the vi editor. So vi editor, first what I do is, in order to write something, in order to type something, you have to give I. I stands for insert. If you give I, then it's asking you to, now you can type anything that you want. I'm just going to paste. Okay, so I created a file called cp.conf. In that file, I have these entities. Now I'm going to save it. How can I save it? Is I can give escape shift, and I'm going to give escape shift colon, and I'm going to say WQ. WQ stands for write and quit. So this is basically a V-editor shortcut page. So if you want to save something, you can give Control Shift colon together, and then you can give WQ. And it writes it. So now what I have is, I have a file called, when you give ls, I have a file called cp.conf. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go and run the script. So everything is done command line. So to run the script, the command is very simple. It's just this command, config _ system and -f force -f stands for force, and I'm going to say cp.conf. So just by running the script, you can do the command wizard yourself. So I'm just going to give enter, and it says validating the file done. So it's configuring the product. So what you have now, this is what that usually when after you finish everything, the wizard starts installing, right? So you'll be seeing that percentage page. That is what exactly happening here. It's going to install the product now. Okay, so I've done this, right? I have configured the first time wizard on this guy with CLI. I configured IP address CLI, I configured default CLI, I did also the first time wizard CLI. Here, everything was done on the graphical user interface. Okay. Now, I think now it's time for us to connect to the SMS, right? So I think SMS should be fine now. So we can go and connect to the SMS, get in the access, and from there we can add the Chennai gateway, and we can create some rules to rules for the internet access. So let's go to this Windows machine. Okay, so there you go, and I'm going to give the password admin123. So we'll give next or login. Now it's going to connect to the server. See, we know this is a basic setup, right? And first, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go and configure a rule from inside outside. So just from inside outside, we're going to have a rule, and also in that rule, we'll create a zone, right? So we're going to create a zone called inside outside. Also, we'll create a zone called DMZ. and then we can create a rule for inside outside just for all the services. Okay, let's go and do that. It says this is a server that I would like to confirm. So yes, proceed. Okay, it's launching the application. So first what we have to do is we have to create zone space, and we have to give some security policies, and then we check the internet access from the client PC. So it's a new management server. We're not using anything from the previous lab, right? So it's completely new. We did everything from the scratch. Okay, let's go and click on the gateways and servers, and I would like to add the gateway. So we are in the SMS. Now I'd like to add the gateway. So to add the gateway, you have multiple ways to do this. You can click on this symbol and you can add the gateway. So first, let's add the Chennai gateway. So wizard mode or normal one. So I'm going to go and give a name called Chennai gateway and open server. Live is going to be 192 state 1.1. Okay, we'll give next. Okay, so we have this trust. We have to give that one-time password, which is admin. Sorry, just root 123. The activation key. Let's give next. So if the activation key is right, you will get the topology result. And if you find this is the right device, you can give close. Okay, so finish. Okay, so we have the Chennai gateway. So now we have access to the Chennai gateway. We can push any policies to the gateway through the SMS. Right. First, we'll go and create some zones, and then we'll create a rule for inside outside. Okay, let's go and create a zone. So I'm going to go to the Chennai gateway. Click on the network management and click on get interface with topology. Accept. And this is the two inside network and this is outside network. Let's click on this and create zones. Modify. New. Inside. Okay, so this guy belongs to inside zone. Let's go and click on the other one to create DMZ. And the last one is going to be outside. Okay, so we create the zones. Now what we'll do is we'll go and create rules based on the zones. We'll go to security policy. So create a very basic rule from inside outside. Okay, here we're gonna have the inside. See, I'm not going to create all the rules that we did in the last class. See, in the last class, we created up to some, I think we had some 15, 16 rules, right, in the last class. I'm not going to create all the rules, just some basic rules to have them basic interconnectivity. And destination is going to be outside. Okay, so inside, outside. VPN, we don't have to check it right now, so we'll uncheck. And then service can be any, the action is accept. Right? Maybe if you want, you can track it or you can leave it. Let's go and install this. Don't show this, publish and install. Okay, so now what we did is we created some basic activities. So after this, we should be able to reach from inside outside. And not only this guy, we have created for whole inside zone, right? Even the SMS can go and reach the Hyderabad gateway right now. So let's go and see that. So if Chennai SMS can reach Hyderabad gateway, then it can even add Hyderabad gateway into this gateway section. Okay. So first, let's check. I think the policy is installed successfully. Let's go and ping 88888. It's not working because you know why. The reason is because it's a network address translation issue. We don't have NAT configured. So let's go and create an object for that. So we have to go and create a new network. The object is we'll have to ch inside network, and we're gonna have the address 192.1.0 netmask 258. Okay, good. Okay, I think I need to explore the object one more time because I just did a mistake over there. So network objects, and I created a inside network object, right? So here in the network address translation, it's set to all gateway, right? I'm just going to choose only the gateway, Chennai gateway, not all gateway. Okay, that's the only change. Okay, let's go and install the policy now. And we should be able to have internet access. Okay, I think the policy has been installed. Let's go and check now, guys. So command prompt ping 88888. Yes, it's working good. Now, see, since we allowed the packet from inside to outside, even now the Chennai SMS can even reach the Hyderabad gateway, right? So we'll try to add the Chennai SMS to the Hyderabad gateway. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to go to the gateways and servers because already we have one rule, right? This rule is sufficient to make Chennai gateway reach the Hyderabad gateway. If this rule is not there, Chennai SMS to Hyderabad gateway. So this one rule is enough for Chennai SMS to reach Hyderabad gateway. But if this rule is not there, inside to outside rule is not there, then even when Chennai SMS is trying to reach outside, it will be prevented. So now we gave internet access to all the inside users so that SMS can also reach the Hyderabad gateway. So let's go and add the Hyderabad gateway, which is at the IP address 100.1.16. Also, we check that this guy is also inter-reachable. Right? And we'll see if the Hyderabad gateway was actually doing some first time wizard, right? So yes, so it says first everything is done. Now it's asking reboot required. So let's go and reboot and then connect with him. Yes, so when you reboot him, he'll become a Hyderabad gateway device. Let's wait for him to reboot. So meanwhile, if you have any doubt, you can ask me, guys. I don't know whether you guys are doing the lab or not. Okay, so I think we got the Hyderabad gateway up and running. Let's log in and check admin 123. Yes, now you can see the name Hyderabad gateway, right? Earlier it was with the name, so it was having this name, right? Gateway 2020, that kind of a name it had. Now it is having the right name that we configured in the configuration file. So yes, so now we'll go and add the Hyderabad gateway to the Chennai SMS. new gateway wizard mode, and you can give the name as Hyderabad gateway platform open server. IP address 100 dot the public IP, right? 100 dot 1 dot 1 dot. What is the IP address? 16. Okay, so 16. We'll try to connect with it. Next. So one time password is asking for. The one time password is again the same. It's root 123 because that was configured here. Did you see? This is the file that I was pasting. Oh, sorry, it's not root 23. So if you see the no, can you see this guy? Here, this is what exactly I pasted over there. So what is the SIG key? What is the activation key? I thought it was root 23, but actually given was admin 123. So I have to give admin 123 as a SIG key. Right? Admin 123, admin 123. Because that was given in the configuration file, right? So let's give next. Yes, now scaling the topology. Yes, we have 3 point, we have 4 point, we have the public IP address. Good. Let's go and add them. Okay, so now we got the second gateway into the SMS. So SMS, this Chennai SMS can now control Chennai gateway. It can push policy to Chennai gateway. At the same, we can also push policy to the Hyderabad gateway. Okay, so now so I'm just gonna take a 5 minutes break now. I'll be back after 5 minutes. I'm gonna stop the recording. So if you guys want to take a break, you can take and be back after 5 minutes. Okay, so today we're not gonna have 2 sessions. We'll have only 1 session, and that session is going to be the extended session. So we'll finish the class. We'll have together. So no need for having a second half and all. So we'll take some additional time and finish the class in the first half itself. Okay. So I'm gonna take some 5 minutes of break now. So you guys can take a break and come after 5 minutes. Okay, guys, we can resume now. So what we have done so far is we got the gateway ready, we got the SMS ready, and we got the Hyderabad gateway ready. And even Chennai SMS now can control Hyderabad gateway too. Okay, so now see, now you have to understand one thing. Already we have a rule that is created on the Chennai gateway. What that rule was? That rule is allowing any traffic from inside to outside. Because of that only, even the Chennai SMS was able to reach the Hyderabad gateway. Right now, here the rule that we created. So the rule number 1 was there, and rule number 2 was there. The rule number 1 was inside outside. The rule number is cleanup rule. So that's the rule that we had. So I'm just mean this right. So when you go to the security policy, so this is a rule, right? And what is the name of this security policy? So this is a security policy. We have rule number 1, rule number 2. And do we have any rule for Hyderabad gateway? Don't have any rule for Hyderabad gateway, because what we did so far is we just added the Hyderabad gateway into the SMS, and right now the Hyderabad gateway has got one rule, which is obviously the cleanup rule, right? So there is only one rule, there is a cleanup rule that is there with the Hyderabad gateway. Now, see, now what I'm going to do is, right, instead of this particular in this particular rule inside outside, we have a policy target. Can you see the policy target here? So when you click on this, you can say that this rule is for, right, a Chennai gateway. I can create one more rule called new rule below, and I can put that rule, and I can say that this rule is for Hyderabad gateway. So what happens is when you install the policy, what are the rules that you have for Chennai gateway will get installed on Chennai gateway, and what are the rules that you have for Hyderabad gateway will get installed on Hyderabad gateway. And you also have something called policy targets. What is policy targets? So if I just remove this, it will go back to policy target, and if I remove this, it goes back to policy targets. And so far in the last 2-3 classes, when we are doing the checkpoint security policy configuration, everything was set to policy targets only. and we never changed on this, right? So the name of the column is in policy target, and we never change anything on this. And what is this policy target? Every policy will have a target base. So if you take a policy, let's say I'm taking a policy, and the name of this policy, the policy name that we have is what you can see. The policy name is standard. So in that standard policy, let's say this is a standard policy. In that standard policy, you can have multiple rules. You can have rule number 1, you can have rule number 2, you can have rule number 3. You can say rule number 1 is for Chennai gateway. And you can have rule number 4, rule number 2, you can say it is for Hyderabad gateway. And you have rule number 3, again, you can say it for Chennai gateway. So you have a standard policy name, and each and every rule you can configure it as, you can install it on specific gateway. Or the other option is, so this is basically, or by default, it's set to what? It's set to the policy targets only. So I'll just write as PT, policy targets. Right? And if it is set to policy target, then what will happen? If it's set to policy target, and if you install this way, it's going to get installed. Right now, in the standard, right? This is a security policy name, right? In security policy, you have 3 rules, and that 3 rules says the rules will be installed in policy target. Now, in the policy, or in this policy, the name of the policy is standard, right? In this policy, you have something called policy target, right? And you can choose a policy target to be Chennai Gateway. If you choose it as Chennai Gateway, if you choose a policy target as Chennai Gateway, right, then any rule, right? So let's say you have, I'll show you this practically now, but if you have a rule called a standard, which is a default rule, and you have a policy target, and if you have Chennai Gateway as a policy target, now any rule that you create here, and if you have the target as policy target, rule number 1, rule number 2, rule number 3, they have policy targets, and the target of this policy is Chennai Gateway. So if you have something like this, then if you install all these, all the 3 rules will be installed on Chennai Gateway only. Because why? Because we are not specifically saying Chennai Gateway here. We are saying policy target, but the policy target is targeting to whom? The policy target is targeting to Chennai Gateway, right? Whereas if you have the policy target, let's say, if you go and see the policy target as all gateway, so there is also another option you have. So all gateway, if the policy target is set to all gateway, then the rule number 1, rule number 2, rule number 3, anything that you install will be installed where? It will be installed on Chennai Gateway as well as Hyderabad Gateway. So it's going to install Chennai Gateway and Hyderabad Gateway. So both gateways will be installed if you choose the policy target as all gateways. You understand? So this is what exactly policy target is, guys. So now I'm going to go and show you that. So first of all, in order to, so here it is policy targets. Right now, if I install this policy, let's say if I'm installing this policy, or let me just undo or delete something, right? Right now we have 2 rules, right? If I install this, right, so it's going to install policy targets. Let's see who's the target of this policy. So for that, I'm going to go and click on this and policy, manage policies and layers, right? So we are talking about policies. So I'm going to click on policy, manage policies and layers. And there you have a policy called standard policy, which is by default created by the checkpoint itself. When you click on this, and you can see the installation target. Right now, whom? Right now, all gateway. Now what specifically happens is, guys, if I click on this install button again, the rule that has been installed on this Hyderabad gateway, sorry, in this Chennai gateway, will the same rule be installed here as well? The same rule will be even installed over here. Now, see, I really don't like this way of installation, because anything that you create on, say, standard policy that gets installed on here and that gets installed here, it will be really, a difficult one for us to manage. So instead, what you can do is, if you want a certain line, then let's say if you want line number 1, so this install both the lines, right? Let's say you want line number 1 to be installed on Chennai gateway, or if you want line number 2 to be installed on Hyderabad gateway, you can specifically choose it, right? So now the policy target says all gateways, which means it installs in all the gateways of the policy, which is all the gateways. So instead of going with that way, instead of saying that, go with the policy target, which is all gateway, now we can go and select, specifically say, okay, I want this rule to be on Chennai gateway, and I want this rule to be on Hyderabad gateway. So when you do this, right, even though the standard policy says all gateways, but the rule says Chennai gateway and Hyderabad gateway. So in this case, you will install the first rule on Chennai gateway, you install the second rule on Hyderabad gateway. This is one way of doing it, please. Or what I generally recommend is, or what I practice is, right, I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to go and click on this same policy, manage policy, and I'm going to click on this standard, and I'm going to say installation target is not all gateways. I'm going to say it's specifically Chennai gateway alone. Now, the installation target is Chennai gateway, right? And any rules that you see here, if the policy target is set, if the install on a set to policy target, all the rules will be installed only on Chennai gateway, guys. Chennai gateway, because can you understand, policy target refers to the policy's reference. Policy refers to what right now? Policy now refers to Chennai gateway. So now these 3 rules will be installed on Chennai gateway only. Now, again, so it's always a good practice to do this way. Right? Now I'll tell you what exactly is a better way. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to change the name from standard to, I'm going to say Chennai Gateway Policy, right? Chennai Gateway Policy. And what is the installation target? The installation target is Chennai Gateway. So I'm going to have a separate security policy for Chennai Gateway alone, and I'm going to have the installation target Chennai Gateway. Now after this, I'm going to click on new policy, and this time I'm going to call it as Hyderabad Gateway Policy. And I'm going to say the installation target for this rule is Hyderabad Gateway alone. So perfect. So now we got two things. Okay, so let me close. Now, can you see there is a two tab here? Chennai Gateway Policy. Any rule that you create here, if you leave that as policy targets, that's going to get installed only on Chennai Gateway, right? So now we can even we can simply forget about this last column itself. It is set to policy target only, but what is a policy? The policy says that's going to install on Chennai Gateway only. Now you can install, you can just ignore this. You can even forget about this particular column, right? If there is an option to install, and I'll just uncheck this. Now we don't see that at all because it by default is set to policy targets only, but the policy target is Chennai Gateway. So any Chennai Gateway rules you want, you can add it over here. Right? I'm gonna just delete this rule. And if I keep adding so many rules, right, I see there are multiple rules, but everything get installed on where? It gets installed on Chennai Gateway Policy only, because here we're gonna have policy target, which I just removed. But what is the policy target? The policy target is going to be Chennai Gateway only, right? So the same way, when you go to Hyderabad Gateway Policy, you can uncheck a few things that's not required. You can uncheck VPN. You can uncheck install on. We don't have to see that. That's what we are. We're not removing it. We're just ignoring them from seeing it. So now, any rule that you have on this Hyderabad Gateway Policy, right? And if the rules has got policy targets, then that will be installed on Hyderabad Gateway Policy only. So got the point. So yes. So I'm just gonna go and create a new rule above. So this rule will, anything that you add here, the second tab will always deal with Hyderabad Gateway. The first tab will always deal with Chennai Gateway. Instead of changing the gateways on each and every rules of the policy, we can have a separate policy for Chennai Gateway, and the target is Chennai Gateway. And we can have a separate policy for Hyderabad Gateway, the target is Hyderabad Gateway, and you can manage it separately. It will be easy for us to manage. Okay, so I'm going to say, allow SMS access. Okay, so what is this, guys? Allow SMS access. What it says is, because see, when you create this, and when you have separate policy for this, and assume that if you don't have this rule, right? This is a created rule. This is a rule that I created now. By default, what happens if you delete this? What happens? You will have one rule called cleanup rule, right? Assume I'm just going to install this. Assume let's click on install, and it's going to ask us a confirmation. If you give install, what's going to happen? The cleanup rule will be installed. The cleanup rule will be installed on the particular gateway. So now, if you install the cleanup rule, what does the cleanup rule says? Cleanup rule says what? Cleanup rule says deny everyone, right? Which means now the Chennai Gateway and Chennai SMS is connected, and Chennai Gateway is responding to Chennai SMS. Now Chennai SMS connected to the Hyderabad Gateway. But if you install that cleanup rule in the Hyderabad Gateway, what will happen? Hyderabad Gateway will not listen to Chennai SMS. So because you have a deny rule here, that deny rule will even disconnect SMS and then the Hyderabad Gateway. So when you create a new rule for Hyderabad Gateway, the rule will have a default cleanup rule. And if you're gonna go and install it, what will happen is like you'll be losing the connection from Chennai SMS to Hyderabad Gateway, because you're just kind of doing what? You're just disconnecting the session by installing the cleanup rule on the Hyderabad Gateway. Let's go and change that. We want the cleanup rule, obviously, but before that, we want to make sure that at least Chennai SMS has access to the Hyderabad Gateway. So here, I'm going to have a name called access to Chennai SMS, and the source is going to be right. And one thing I forgot to tell you guys here in this Hyderabad Gateway, we added him, right? But we never created any zones here. So I'm just going to create a zone here. I'm going to have this as inside. I'm going to have this as DMZ, and I'm going to have this as outside. Right. Okay, let's go and create zones, because we have a rule here, but before that we'll go and create the zones there. Let me click on the Hyderabad gateway and create some zones over there, because already we created in Chennai, we have to create in Hyderabad now. Okay, get interface with topology, accept, and then I'm going to say this guy is going to be inside. So already we created inside object, right? So object is already created. So inside is already created. It's already there in the SMS. We don't have to create it, but we just want to assign that here. Okay, inside, and here, modify, security zone, DMZ. Okay, and then here, modify, security zone, outside. Okay, there you go. So now we have zones configured on the Hyderabad gateway too. Okay, let's go to the security policy, Hyderabad gateway. Now I'm going to say, right, anyone. Okay, so here, here instead of having it as any, I'm going to go and call. So because we don't want anyone to access the gateway, right? So here the rule is going to be like this. We're going to have Chennai SMS. So Chennai SMS, which is at the IP address of 1.2, trying to reach the destination, which is the Hyderabad gateway. You choose Hyderabad gateway. Right? So let the service be any. The action is what? The action is accept. Now here we have a problem. The problem is, if you install this rule also, you will lose the connection. Why? I have Chennai SMS here, I have the Hyderabad gateway here. But if I install this policy, we lose the connection. Why? Anyone has no? Because see guys, what the rule says is the rule that you created that says Chennai SMS, which is from 1.2, 150.1.1. Sorry, from 1.2, the Chennai SMS, which is 1.2, can reach Hyderabad gateway 100.16. So this is possible. This is what basically the rule says. But when you come out of the firewall, what will happen? The network address translation will happen, right? So now you're 1.2 from here, but when you come out, you will be 216. But the rule says what? If 1 point is trying to access 116, then allow. If not, deny everyone. So here we have a tricky situation where if you just install the policy also, even after putting Chennai SMS, real IP address is 1.2, but the NAT IP address is 216. Now, what I would like to do here is, now I don't want this IP to be used here, because this IP is a shared IP, right? 1 point is also sharing the IP address, 1 point also sharing the IP address. I don't want the shared IP address to access the Hyderabad gateway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a separate IP, right? So we have 200.16. This is for all the normal internet users to go to internet. We have a static IP for web server. We have a static IP for SH server. Okay, the next IP address, which is 200.1.1.19, that's going to be the static IP for whom? That's going to be static IP for SMS. So now I'm just giving a dedicated public IP for SMS, and I'm going to say from the public IP, only SMS can come. So if you come from, if any packet is coming from 200.1.19, trying to access 100.1.16, then just accept the packet. So that will be the perfect rule. So you cannot just like that go and install it. If you go and install it again, you lose the connection. Again, you have to build everything from the beginning. So what I'm going to do is before installing the policy, we have to be careful. So I'm going to go to the gateway, and I'm going to go to the SMS, and I'm going to create a static NAT. So if you click on this NAT, can you see this? I'm clicking on Chennai SMS. Okay, so we're going to have a static NAT for it. And what is the IP address? 200.1.1.17. Right, and install which gateway? Install on the Chennai gateway, right? So in Chennai gateway, first I'm configuring the network address translation so that any traffic that is coming from 1.2 will be NATed to the public IP address of 200.116, and then any packet that is coming from 200.19, sorry, did I say 16? 19. So 200.19, any traffic that is coming from 200.19 trying to access the gateway is allowed. Right. So first, what you have to do is first we have to do the NAT installation on the gateway, Chennai gateway. So after doing the NAT installation on the Chennai gateway, then you can go and install the policy on the Hyderabad gateway. So let's go and give apply. And I'm going to say Now the security policy, Chennai gateway security policy, in which we have added the network address translation. I'm going to say install policy. And the same, it's going to ask me which policy you want to install. I'm not going to say any Hyderabad gateway policy. I'm going to say Chennai gateway policy. So Chennai gateway policy will do network address translation installation now. After that, we can go and do Hyderabad gateway policy installation. Let's go and select Chennai gateway, because this will do network address translation. A static NAT for HNA SMS. Okay. The policy is going on. Okay. So now we have this Chennai SMS clearly coming out with a public IP address of 200.1.19, and only he is the person who can take the IP address. And any packet that is coming from that IP address will be whom? Will be Chennai SMS only. And now we're going to create a rule. Now what I'm going to say is, I'm going to say that if there is any packet coming from 200.1.1.19 hitting this server, then allow the packet. Everyone else is denied. Okay, I think the policy installation is done. Now we have network address translation implemented on the firewall on the Chennai gateway. And now let's go and create the Hyderabad gateway policy. So in Hyderabad gateway policy, we're just going to go and remove this, right? So access to Chennai SMS, or access from Chennai SMS. Or we can say access for Chennai SMS. So Chennai SMS can access Hyderabad gateway, access for Chennai SMS. And the source is going to be what? Source cannot be any. Source have to be the public IP of Chennai SMS, right? I'm going to create a new object for it because we don't have any public IP. So you're going to have a new host. Chennai SMS public IP. And the IP is what? 200.1.1.19. Okay. So Chennai SMS public IP, which is 200.1.19, now can reach 150. So I think 100.116 on any service. Right now, if you install this, now after the installation also you will have the Hyderabad gateway alive. So if you didn't do this line, guys, if you didn't add the line number 1, if you're just trying to install line number 2 alone, the Chennai gateway Chennai SMS will lose the connectivity to the Hyderabad gateway. You have to be very careful on this. Okay, so we are trying to install the policy on Hyderabad gateway. So it's on 50%, soon it should reach 99%, and we should have the access to the Hyderabad gateway as well. If you're not having the access, then sometimes it's stuck at 50% itself. If it's stuck at 50%, then we have some issue with the policy. I think if it is stuck with 50%, then we have done something wrong. I believe it will go to 99, 90, 100%. Okay, so please wait. I think something is wrong. So we have Chennai SMS public IP, reaching Hyderabad gateway. Action is this. We're installing on Hyderabad gateway only. I think everything is good. We have this rule. It's correct, but why the percentage is not just going further? Okay, I think something is wrong, guys. I just want to figure out what is wrong. Do we have, okay, can you see the Hyderabad gateway? I got disconnected, connection is lost. What is wrong? Let's go and check Chennai SMS. Oh my God. This is a mistake I've done. Okay, see, actually I was talking about this IP address, right? I was talking this IP address and I was even configuring this IP address only, but unfortunately I configured static NAT with by 17, right? I don't know why did I do that. So not 17. So because see, we created a rule allowing 19, but we didn't add for 17, and that is what the mistake is. So let me go and add that as 19, and then we'll install the Chennai gateway now. That's a policy key. So this will stuck at 50% itself, because now the security policy implemented and you lost the connection. Let's go and install this policy. So we install the Hyderabad, we install the Chennai gateway policy. Okay, it says policy is currently in progress. Okay, so this is what the problem is. Now what will happen is the policy will install, it will try to get the acknowledgement, but the connection has been closed. I don't know how did I make this mistake. Everything was right, but the only difference that problem that I did is now just I wanted to select this as NAT as 19, but I selected but I configured 17. It's okay. Let's wait. And after a few minutes, what will happen is this policy will just get cancelled automatically. And then we can go and install the Chennai gateway, and then again we can initiate the connection. So okay, we just want to wait. Okay, let's clear the task and try. Okay, let's install this now. It says policy installation is currently in progress. Okay, this is a mistake I've done. Okay, I should have been careful a little bit. I don't know how did I configure 217 over there. It should be not 19 only. Okay, that's a mistake. So now what will happen is the security policy installation will just take some time to time out. And after that, you can go and install the policy. It will take some time. Cases policy installation is currently in progress because that policy which was installing after the installation, the connection got disconnected. So 50% we stopped the policy installation because now you won't get any response from the Hyderabad gateway. Since Hyderabad gateway is not responding, the policy installation stuck at 50% itself, since there is no acknowledgement from the Hyderabad gateway. So we just want to wait for some time and do it. Okay, let me try now. No, okay, let me pause the recording. Okay, so after some 10 minutes of time, I'm able to install, because there was an ongoing policy. That policy took some 10 minutes of time to get itself timing out. So after that, now we can install this Hyderabad gateway, right? Now we have installed this Chennai gateway with this NAT IP. Okay, now let's go and initiate the Hyderabad session. I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna go and delete this guy. Maybe I think I cannot delete it. Okay, where is that policy? Okay, I think the policy even went away. Okay, what we can do now is we can go and reset the connection and do it again. We had a policy, right? Just give me a minute, guys. I'm gonna go and see the latest policies that we have. Okay, there you have Hyderabad gateway policies there. Okay, so yes, so we have this Hyderabad gateway policy here coming up and Chennai gateway policy. See, if I have not done that mistake in the last 10-15 minutes of time, would have finished the configuration itself. But anyway, no problem. So we have this Chennai gateway policy and we have this Hyderabad gateway policy. Hyderabad gateway policy access to Chennai SMS is allowed access for Chennai SMS. Let's go and see. Okay, I got the Hyderabad gateway back. Okay, I thought I need to reset the connection. No need. I got the Hyderabad gateway connection back. Right now it's working because now this Chennai SMS is trying to reach the Hyderabad gateway on the NAT IP address of 200.19. Okay, so now we can move from here. So from here, there is no hurdle. We can go and create some rules. So I'm going to go and create a rule for. So we can do this, guys. So we have a rule for outside to DMZ. We'll create a rule for outside to DMZ, and also we'll create a rule for inside to outside. We'll also create a rule for outside to DMZ. Okay, so we'll just do those things here. So we're going to configure Chennai gateway as well as Hyderabad gateway parallelly, and we can install them, and we can use this inter user to reach this as well as this, and we can use this inside user to reach outside. Okay, so first let's go and do this. Maybe first I'll do this. So we'll go and create a rule for this. This inside user right now, he cannot reach internet because there is no rule for Hyderabad gateway from inside to outside. So I'll also go and star this guy, and if you want, you can even check it. So the default route is already configured in the Hyderabad gateway. The Hyderabad gateway doesn't have any rule to allow him. So if you give ifconfig, it doesn't have an IP address. Let's go and create an IP address. SHIF1 message 192.3.2, 258.258.2.0, 192.168. 3.1, 8.8.8.8. Let's ping 8.8.8.8. It's not working because of the rule, guys. Okay, let's go and see the rule. So first rule is access for Chennai SMS. The next rule is we have to allow from inside to outside, right? So the new rule below. So it's gonna have inside. Or before that, what I would like to do is I would like to create one more rule: deny for other IPs. So what I'm saying is, right, access for Chennai SMS or no, Hyderabad gateway from Chennai SMS Hyderabad gateway can be accessed. Deny for other IPs, I would like to say that if someone else is trying to access the, okay, what happened? Like, okay, I'm just going to copy paste here. Okay, so here, so if anyone else is accessing Hyderabad gateway, the action is dropped, right? So we have first two rules like this. So Chennai SMS alone can access Hyderabad gateway, and everyone else is denied. Okay, let's go and create a new rule now, new rule below. And this is the actual rule for the zones. So inside to outside, and you have the source as inside zone. It's already created there, inside zone, and we have outside zone. So the action is denied right now. We'll have it as permit, and we're not going to track anything. Install policy target. So what is the policy target? Can you see when you hover over here? It says I'm just going to install it on where? It's going to install it in the Hyderabad gateway only. Can you see here Hyderabad gateway? Okay, let's go and install the policy. So after this, the inter user should be able to access internet. I'm sorry, the inside user should be able to access internet. So this is the first thing, and then we can go and create other static NAT rules as well, static NAT and outside to DMZ rules. Okay, once the policy, okay, so to select the policy. So there is nothing new in Chennai gateway. We already installed Chennai gateway. Hyderabad gateway is a new policy where we added that inside to outside configurations. Let's go and install this. Okay, yes. So now the installation is 100% because we have this rule, right? So this rule is helping the Chennai SMS still to connect to the Hyderabad gateway. Okay, so we have inside outside rule completed. So now we have rule created. Let's go and check from this PC. So from here, I'm gonna go and reach internet. Let's see the 3-point device can reach internet now. It couldn't. Obviously, we know what the problem is. It's a network address translation issue. Let's go and create a network address translation. I'm going to go and create a new object, new network object, and it's going to be inside. We have it as Hyderabad inside network because we had Chennai inside network already, and it's going to be what source IP 192.168 3.0, mask is 255.2.0, and network address translation automatically had HiNAT, and installation gateway is what Hyderabad gateway, right? You have to choose it properly. Okay, now let's go and install the policy. So again, choose the policy. I think it should be Hyderabad gateway policy. So as soon as the policy is installed, we have rules to allow the traffic. We have network address translation to translate the private to public AP. So we should be able to reach now. Okay, installation succeeded. Now we should be able to reach, guys, I think. Okay, there you go. So now I can access. Now if I can even create some specific rules, like I can create all sort of rules that I need now. I can say ping alone not allowed, or I can say DNS web request alone allowed. So if I say instead of allowing all services, I can say HTTP HTTP HTTPS, and I say DNS. So only these services are allowed. And now all the services will be denied. So when you install this policy, you should not be able to ping, but you should be able to access the web. So let me ping, and as soon as the installation is done, the ping will be denied, blocked. Okay, once it reaches 19%, we should be able to see the result here, guys. There you go. So from sequence number 29, it's not working because we got the finalizing installation. Okay, now ping won't work. Whereas I can try to links to any website I want. I can links to networkgeek.in, test.networkgeek.in. Okay, I think there was a small error, typo, network geek it should be. Okay, there you go. So you have that internet speech. Good. So yes, so now we did the inside outside. Now we can create some rules from here as well, right? So from outside to DMZ, we can create some rules from outside to DMZ for Chennai zone, as well as outside to DMZ for Hyderabad zone. Okay, let's go and do it. Okay, let's go to the Chennai gateway policy, and I'm going to create a network object first. A host object. I'm going to say web server, or we would like to call it as ch web server. So what is IP address? The actual IP address is 192.2. And network address translation, we're going to do a static NAT. And the IP address is 200.1.1.17. So yes, so we'll be using this public IP. And if you hit this public IP, you're going to get translated and go to the 2.2 server. Okay, so installation on all gateways, no. Installation only on Chennai gateway. Okay, I think this is sufficient. And also we need to create a rule for this. So I'm going to create a new rule below. Oh, sorry, it should be delete. It should be above the cleanup rule. So new rule above the cleanup rule. Internet users to web server. Okay, so here we're gonna have any, obviously it should be any, or you can even have it as outside, not a problem. So outside, anyone coming from outside, going to the Chennai web server. Right, so if someone outside going to Chennai web server, and if they're trying to access, except if they are trying to access only the services on port 80, so one HTTP is allowed. Okay, this rule will say outside to Chennai web server, traffic is allowed. Okay, and also let me create one more host object. This time we'll have this Hyderabad web server. And the IP4 address is going to be, if you see the IP4 address, 4.2, right? And then the NAT static public AP web server public AP is 100.100.17. Okay, let's go and do that. 192.168 4.2 and network address translation static NAT 200.1. Sorry, it should be 100, right? 100.1.17. Am I right? Yeah, so 17 and then install on Hyderabad gateway alone. Okay. So yes, we created, and we'll create one more rule on the Hyderabad gateway policy too, right? So this is going to be for below in internet user to web server. Okay, so anyone from outside, trying to reach Hyderabad web server on the port number 80, which is HTTP, action is accept. Okay, so good case. So we have two rules here. I mean, one is inside outside, and here we have two rules as well, right? Which is inside outside, inside to introduces to web server. Okay, we have created network address translation, we have created rules, everything is good. So we have to install both the policies. So let's install the Chennai gateway policy first, and then Hyderabad gateway policy next. So select the policy. Maybe we can do it Hyderabad first. So after this, meanwhile, we can go and start the servers also. So server we have here and the server we have here. So we have to go and configure them a static IP address. SH 192.168 2.2 258.255.0 192.168 2.1 8.8.8. So here web server, this is on the Hyderabad side. So it's going to have the IP address 4.2 258.255.0 192.168 4.1 8.8.8.8. Okay, I think yes, so we got everything done, configured. So we just want to install the Chennai gateway policy has been installed. So we'll go and install Hyderabad gateway. So see guys, when you click on this install policy, it's going to ask you to choose the policy. Right? But when you go to the specific policy and there is an option to install policy, can you see? If you do it, it will directly take you to the Hyderabad gateway policy. You don't have to select it, because the main install, if you do, you have to select the policy. Inside that policy, you have install inside that. So that will directly install the Hyderabad gateway policy. Okay, let it go. So first we'll check this. So we have the internet user here. We'll start this guy. So from here, I'm going to try to reach this guy on the IP address .17. And from here, I'm going to reach this guy on the IP address, again, 100.1.17. Okay, let's click on the internet user. And links 200.1.1.17. Making the connection. It's not working. Why is it? Did I configure it properly? Object Explorer, object. So Hyderabad web server, Chennai web server is at 2.2. Static NAT for this public IP. Okay, inter user has got inter access. All we need to check is why isn't not working. So 200 milliseconds. Let's try again. Saying making connection. They configure everything properly. Let me assign the IP address one more time. Okay, it's working. Let's try now. It's not working. You created a rule also, right? Everything looks fine. Okay. And where's this? Okay, I think let's try for this now. Maybe what happens here is I'm not able to reach from here to here. Let's try from reaching here to here. Links 100 or 17. Okay, there you go, it works. So here, from here to here, it's reachable. Which means then there is something wrong on this guy. I don't know what is wrong. So 2.2, I'm not able to reach on his public IP. So he's making connection. Whereas the Hyderabad web server is reachable. Okay, let's troubleshoot what the problem is. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create one more new rule above. And here I'm going to say DMZ. We'll just check DMZ to internet. DMZ outside. Okay, let's install this policy and see, guys. This, oh, I think, okay. So I think what I did was I installed the Hyderabad policy recently. I didn't install the Chennai policy, I believe. I remember I didn't install the Chennai policy. Okay, that's why it was not working. Okay, yes, correct. So let's go and install the Chennai gateway policy and we should be able to, I think the policy installation was pending. So lastly, I installed, yeah. So last few policy installation was on Hyderabad only. That's why Chennai was not working. It was a policy installation mistake. I didn't do it. So now we should be able to reach both. Okay, let's try now. So after the installation, this guy should be able to reach this guy. Okay, let's try from the introducer now. So it's Hyderabad web server. Okay, so Chennai web server, both are working. Good. So one last thing, guys. So now let's say, if you want to make a log, let's say if this guy in the Hyderabad gateway, you see these are 3 services that is allowed. What I would like to do is I would like to create a new rule below and log ping packets. So I just want to log the ping packets alone, which means I'm going to create the same thing, right? I'm just going to have the same thing here inside, outside, but this time instead of having the other, I'm just going to say only ping, search for ping. Okay, I think it should be ICMP. So ICMP protocol. And action is accept, the action is log, right? So what I want is, see if someone from inside of Hyderabad, this guy is trying to ping to any destination, the Hyderabad gateway should allow it. At the same time, the Hyderabad gateway should report to the Chennai SMS. That's what the logging is, right? So if someone goes to internet on any ICMP protocol, the gateway have to respond to the SMS, have to report to the SMS. That's what I'm trying to say. So log ping packets, I'm saying the tracking is logging, and let's install this policy and see if I can get any logs or not. So choose Hyderabad gateway, install. Okay, guys, everything looks good now. So let's try this. So if this guy is going to internet, I'm just going to make a ping to 8.8.8.8. The ping packet should go to the internet and the log packet should go to the SMS. Right? Let's see how can I do that, or let's see if it's working or not. Okay, I'm going to go to the device and I'm going to ping 8.8.8.8. It should work technically because we allowed it. So ping is working and this ping packet should be logged, right? So let's give cancel and let's try if the Hyderabad gateway is trying to log on the or send the report to the SMS, because we are trying to view the SMS, right? We are viewing the SMS from here, and the Hyderabad gateway have to give the report of the ping to the SMS, right? Let's see if I can see anything over there. So there are 2 ways to see the logs, right? I can select the packet, I can select the rule, and I can go to the logs, and I can see if there is any log that's matching over there. Go to the log. Okay, please wait. Okay, so we have a log here, so nothing is appearing here. The other way to see the log is you can even select this logs and monitor, and you can see what type of logs are appearing. See, we never logged anything, right? Everything the track is none only. The only log that we enabled is this guy, which is if someone from inside from Hyderabad gateway going to outside on IC protocol, we want to log it. But it says there is no match found on your search. And it did search for some 15 seconds and it couldn't. Why? What is the reason? Can someone say what is the reason for this? Maybe in the chat. Okay, see, the reason is from here, when the log messages are going, it goes to the Chennai gateway, right? From Chennai gateway, it can go to the Chennai SMS, right? The logs are sent where? Logs are sent to the SMS, which is IP address 200.1.1.19. So this way the log SMS is sent to. And there is no problem in this Hyderabad gateway sending to the IS router. ISP router will send it to the Chennai gateway, but Chennai gateway, it sees a packet and it sees a network address translation. It finds that the packet has been forwarded to 1.2. Now the traffic is coming from where to where? It's coming from outside to 1.2, right? Do we have any rule for this direction? No, we don't have any rule for this direction. That's why outside traffic trying to get into the inside zone is not allowing it. Right? So now what you have to do? We have to go and allow this, right? And you can allow all the traffic, or you can specifically allow TCP logs and logs around. So we have a firewall log. So on the log messages alone, you can forward. Right? Instead of having open access to anyone from internet to the SMS, opening all the ports, we can allow only the firewall log ports. I think that it has got some TCP number, but you know, if you search, you'll be able to see the firewall logs. So I'm just going to allow only the firewall logs to that particular server. So we have to go and do this on Chennai gateway, and Chennai gateway. I'm just going to create a new rule below and logs from Hyderabad. Okay, why it is doing like this? Logs from okay. So not anyone. Wait, we want to have a Hyderabad gateway here. So we'll search for. Okay, so anyone, right? Anyone in the sense, not anyone, Hyderabad, anyone having this public IP, basically the Hyderabad gateway IP only. So Hyderabad gateway accessing the Chennai SMS. We'd like to give the SMS here. So Chennai SMS. So anyone from anyone Hyderabad gateway, if Hyderabad gateway is trying to send some packets to Chennai SMS, then the action is accepted, and we can have the service and application as logs. If you search for logs, then you can find there are so many logs, firewall logs. Right? On what port number it's working? It's working on TCP 257 port number. So let's go and add that alone. So this log, right? Hyderabad gateway can send Chennai SMS the log message. Only this is allowed, and we'll go and install this policy. And after this, what happens is now when you try to ping from here to here, the ping packet will go to the Hyderabad gateway. Hyderabad gateway will forward to the internet. At the same time, the log message will go to this firewall. On the public IP of the Chennai SMS, the rule is there. So the packet will even go to the Chennai SMS. Right? So now we can see it on the Chennai SMS now. Okay, we'll install this. Okay, I think everything is good now. So now we should be able to see if I go for Hyderabad gateway security policy. Now we are trying to check this. Now can you see 3 point is trying to ping 8. Now we are getting it. Okay, the log message is enabled and now we are getting it. Let's go and ping it again. Let's go and ping 1.1.1. Right. Now all the messages that we see here should appear here anytime now. Let's go and refresh. Okay, so 111 it's working. DNS, Google DNS is working, right? So now the logs are appearing. Right. Okay, so if you want to get the logs from the site gateways, so you have to allow that log messages from outside to inside. Yeah. So if you have any doubt in this, you can ask me now. Because see, similarly, what are the rules that we created on Chennai gateway in the last class? The same rules, the same applications can be created even here as well. Right? All we discussed now is, okay, how do you add a new gateway into the existing SMS, and how do you push some policies over there, and also how the logs will be collected. So we just did this. So any doubts you can ask me now.
Okay, so then we'll end the meeting here. So we don't have second half.
Yeah,
As I told you.
Pound sorry.
Yeah, tell me,
If
sir.
it is any ISP problem, is there means Chennai to Hyderabad? Is there any ISP problem? Means how we can take a console on this
If
Hyderabad
there is
console?
any ISP issue, then you cannot connect, sir. Maybe what you can do is you can have a couple of ISPs for redundancy.
Okay.
So if the ISP is not working, then you cannot connect to Hyderabad, right? ISP it should work. Only then the device will be reachable.
The device will be unreachable. We have to depends on the ISP to
Yes,
upon the
yes,
link.
yes, yes. Of course, of course.
Okay.
The ISP should
But,
be there. If you feel that the ISP is not
mm,
reliable, maybe you can take a couple of ISPs.
okay.
So if one guy goes down, the other guy will help you to reach.
Okay, because we don't know that one SMS only managing that the services only. Okay,
Hmm.
whether that from that internet services or everything is working or not, we don't know that one. We could not
Yes.
any yeah, we can install the in the Hyderabad location. We cannot install the SMS to
You can
manage
have
everything.
it, you can have it. But actually the point of having an SMS is, so you can also have one more SMS here. You can locally control the device from here. But the
Okay.
point is, in order to have some centralized,
Mm,
collection of
okay.
devices, this is the recommended one. And see, if you have 10 sites, for every site, you cannot go and add a new SMS, because adding a new
Yes.
SMS is a new additional device, right?
Mm-hmm.
And generally what happens in industry is they have their SMS in the prime place, and all the sites will be there. And if you lose internet, sir, first of all, if you lose internet, not just the connectivity between Hyderabad gateway and Chennai SMS, even the users inside the Hyderabad gateway will not be able to connect, right? So we have to take care of that. If internet issue is there, then we cannot do anything. We can have a couple of redundant thing. If internet is there, then Chennai SMS can be in any remote location. It can control the firewall. So it's not a good idea to put a local SMS on the Hyderabad office. Instead, you can have a separate one more redundant internet connection. We can manage with it.
Mm, okay, fine. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. For that, for the logging also, we have to allow that one the in the Chennai is that
Yes, yes,
correct?
yes, yes, yes. So we have to
Loggers,
create a rule.
yeah, we have to recreate the role, but it
Yes.
is locally managed, right? For the log.
If it is locally managed, see, if it is here, then it is locally managed. If you have an SMS over here, that is locally managed.
Mm.
And whatever the Chennai gateway is sending, what logs the Chennai gateway is sending, that is locally managed by the Chennai SMS.
Chennai
The
SMS
thing that
only.
you get
Okay.
from Hyderabad is not locally managed. So you will need to create a rule for that, for Hyderabad gateway to send the logs to the Chennai SMS. So locally, here, if you have, it's not crossing the firewall, so locally accessible if you have the SMS here. And same way, if this guy is sending something, it's locally accessible. But when you cross the
Okay.
firewall and if you're reaching the SMS, or if you're crossing the firewall and if you're reaching the gateway, then that is not actually the normal rule. Even like how we create a rule here for Chennai SMS to go to Hyderabad, right? We have a rule for so here introduce, right? So we have a rule. So with this rule only, this is getting connected. So Chennai SMS is getting connected to Hyderabad gateway because of this rule. Same way, right? Hyderabad gateway is sending logs to the Chennai SMS based on this rule.
Okay. For the log, we have to create the rule for the
Separate rule,
centralized.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Or else it won't work.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Cool.
Okay, any other doubts? Okay, guys, then we'll finish it here. See you guys in the next class. Next week, I think we'll be finishing the checkpoint. I'm going to discuss about high availability of checkpoint. And after that, we'll be working on VPN. Okay, so
Okay.
let the meeting here.
Okay.